Good morning, ladies and gents. Today, Tuesday, November 3rd, we are going to finish up what we started yesterday with our lockpicking game. Realize that there's a little bit of glare coming in my window. Let's handle that so you guys don't get completely bombarded by light while I'm working. So we started in yesterday. We have this bar, we have a pick lock button that doesn't do anything, and we have a cancel button that doesn't do anything. Mostly because we have no way to start lockpicking, so there's no way to stop it, really. That'll be one of those things we finish in a bit. Obviously, finding a way to access these things is necessary, but because we're doing development our way, we can do it in whatever order we like. So we need a function, though, to actually attempt picking the lock. So now that we've got the function, and I just tossed an empty function in there, you can put any kind of function in, and once you do the data binding, Unity will continue to keep the same function, even if you change the entire contents of it. As long as you don't change the signature or the name of the function, you're good. Or the owner of the function, I guess I should add. Lockpicking window. Hey, pick button. You happen to have on-click function for this object who has a attempt picking lock. Sweet. And just because we're here and we should, I'll just toss in the cancel pick lock function. And we'll just tie that into our cancel button so we can just fill it out at our leisure. Take our time, Write some happy little function next to some almighty singleton. Sorry, I've been watching too much Bob Ross. Way too much Bob Ross. I don't know why I find it so captivating, but the ease at which he generates such beautiful paintings boggles my mind. Okay, so what we want to do here is create a skill test of some kind. And the skill test will be easier or harder based on the character's skill. So what's going to happen is we're going to start with some kind of, not private value, some kind of, I guess I'll say the current skill value, where that is going to get assigned when we set up the game. And it's going to be us rolling dice. And we're going to just sit there and roll dice, I'd say anywhere between a half second and a second, so that it looks like, and it'll be a little difficult for the player to tell because the bar will be moving quickly, but you want the bar to be past the star when you hit the attempt button. It'll be kind of quick-timey, but the thing is you can make it a lot easier on yourself by having a higher skill. Let's see here. Roll dice. And we're going to roll dice based on the stat alone. So the lockpicker cool. And we're going to need some timer code in here. But that should be pretty easy. So we have the amount of time that's going to be spent on a single skill roll. We also have the time left for roll. Every frame, we're simply going to decrement from the time left the delta time. Obviously, if it's less than or equal to 0, we can then do our test and say, oh, well, first off, the current skill value should be re-rolled. And we also need to reset our time left. And then every frame, the reason this is inside of an update loop, aside from the timer, is that we also need to do an update to the bar itself. I'm actually going to put a reference to the bar. Hey Fox, I'm glad you're here too. Always happy to have return viewers, means I'm doing something right. We've got our references, of which there is going to be a slider, I think. There's either a no, it's a scroll bar. And of course, we need to, interesting. I never realized that Visual Studio likes to take unnecessary using directives and gray them out somewhat. That's actually really freaking cool. This will be our skill bar. Oh, I remember, Fox. I definitely remember your name from when I was working on the settlement stuff. Yeah. Tempts me to go back to C++ every once in a while. I did enjoy working in that engine. At the same time, I'm able to get so much more done here that it's kind of difficult to go back sometimes. And the size is a float, so all we have to do is, we're probably going to, let's see here, we're going to lerp the current skill bar value between, is that how this lerp works? Okay, well, we're going to lerp it between the minimum skill value and the maximum skill value. And I have a feeling that's actually not quite right. This probably is a between 0 and 1 thing. So, I'm going to write another quick helper, and we're just going to have, let's see here. This is going to be the contents of that. Get skill bar location. Cool. Whoops. This is going to be get skill bar location for the blocker pick difficulty. Yeah, I gotta say, as much as I love C++, is a fantastic language for many things, the biggest issue I continue to have is that the speed at which I can develop things in C# is just so much higher. And part of it's familiarity, and part of it's the engine, and part of it also is just the fact that the language caters to it a little bit better. And so what you end up with is, what's going on here? Oh, I know. You end up moving a lot quicker, and because you move a lot quicker, it's a lot more exciting. It keeps the motivation going longer, which it's okay. I mean, I can understand it. Okay, so first off, our current skill value actually that's an int. That being an int is fine. What we need to do is we need to lerp between the current skill bar location and where it should be. So what we're going to do, its size, we're going to lerp from its current location. I really wish I had, there we go, from A to B. Okay. What's its final location? Well, the final location should be get skill bar location of the current skill value oh Lord, fonts. This one actually says English too. Yeah, no. All right. Have I ever checked out ReSharper? No, I actually haven't. Interesting. I'll have to look it up. I'm always one for using tools that kind of improve the workflow, and I gotta say, if it helps with the workflow, I definitely don't mind doing it. You'll note that, oh, actually, right now it's not on. Usually, this right-hand side of my screen, I have the. Can I just turn that on? Control bar options. No. Oh, because this isn't Pro. Gosh darn it. That's what I get. So when I tossed my old hard drive, I lost my version of Visual Studio Pro, and I haven't re-downloaded it yet. I've been using the community version that comes installed with Visual Studio because it's that much better integrated with Unity. Downside being that I'm missing some of the tools I'm used to in Pro. Oh well. Okay, so what's our current value, or what's the speed at which we want to lerp? Well, we want to essentially, every time we reach a location, be arriving at or leaving for the next destination. So we never want to miss the value. So if I say I want to go from 0 to 5, I want to have at least hit 5 or gotten close to it by the time I start moving away from it. So how do we do this? This is probably going to be, so if I put 1.0, 1.0 means it's going to immediately teleport to the far side. Okay. We can say that it should make it to the far side in a second. And then the next thing we can do to speed it up even further is we could say, oh, well, we could do a half second or a third or a quarter of a second. The higher this number is, the faster it's going to move between targets. For now, let's keep it at 1 second. And we'll futz with it in a bit to get it moving correctly. I just want to see the sucker go more than anything else. Size bar says that. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna start the bar actually at a size 0. Come on, size 0. There we go. Just to ensure that there's no expectation that it could be. Woohoo! What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Skill bar, scroll bar. Hey guys. Oh, also the time per skill roll should be a second. Can't forget to fill in our values. Okay, now I wanted to go faster than this because this is like not challenging in the slightest. It's easy to know right now I shouldn't really be doing anything, especially if the difficulty is way up here. Yeah, let's speed that sucker up. Let's make it a half second. And here's where the interesting stuff comes in. Times 1.0 over the time per skill roll. There we go. So that's moving a bit faster. But it's still kind of obvious when you're almost about to be in that high space. There we go. That's a lot more erratic. I like the erratic for 2 reasons. One, it increases the difficulty. So something that's way up here, you're kind of, I could have had it. Maybe, I don't know. And also the other reason I like it more erratic is that it keeps you from waiting for a long time if you're on a high difficulty thing like this, from getting caught in the low numbers for a long time. Because the way the dice system works is that the skill number is the median dice roll all the time. So it is the most likely number to come up is the median. So what that means is we're most likely to sit around this middle point, and the further you get from that middle point, the less likely it is to get rolled. Now you'll note it's going pretty low and pretty high every once in a rare while. But aside from that, it's actually kind of difficult for it to get where it needs to go. I'm going to see if I can speed that up just so it hits its endpoint a little faster. There we go. So there was a moment I could have maybe clicked and had it. Don't actually know. Okay, so now we've got the actual lockpick game, right? The other thing, the other piece of information we want to put in is how many successes you need before it completes. So the 2 things I want to do here, one, I want to introduce different levels of difficulty. So this is not going to be a single integer anymore. It's actually going to be an array of integers, and I'm going to remove the tumbler count from it. And what we're going to do is private int so what we're going to do is we're going to set a tumbler index, and each time that tumbler comes up, we're going to check that difficulty. So you'll notice that there's an error here on the pick difficulty. That's because our tumbler index is not being included here. So that's the first most obvious thing. The second thing I want to do, obviously, is fix up this grid node, because I've changed how the data should look. So before, I think I said it was 8. So I'm going to do something like, first off, its size is going to be 3. And the 3 difficulties here, let's go with like 4, 6, and 10. Yeah, that seems like decent difficulties for a first level player, because as I know, currently our first level players have a 6 in their lockpicking, which means 12 is the highest and most unlikely roll they can make. So 10 is not going to be impossible, but 10 is certainly going to be difficult. 6 should be pretty friggin' easy, and 4 should be almost mindless. So each time you click the attempt pick lock, I don't actually care about the current skill value. I probably am going to care more about the location of the skill bar. So what I'm going to do, for now, let's see, how do we do this? Ooh, ReSharper does unit testing. That's actually something we really need at work more than anything else. I don't need it specifically in my own code, because for the games I work on, there tends to be a difficult case to set up unit testing inside, but I would love to have unit testing inside of a Unity environment, so I'll definitely have to check that out now. Hey, Mental. Glad you could join us today on this sunny, shiny day. I missed the rain from yesterday. The rain was nice. Game parameters. There's no E in parameters. There we go. I swear I can spell, guys. I swear I can do it. Hey, I'm Bonkin, the guy who says bye. He's saying hi. Alright, we've got the skill, we've got the pick difficulties. When you click the attempt pick lock button, I want to do a few things. Yeah, I can safely enable... can I? Actually? I'm going to make a run game variable. We're going to say, if run game is false, just don't do the rest of everything and update. We just stop. So this will allow us to pause the game. So what I'm going to do is a few things. First off, we're going to pause the game. We are then going to start a coroutine, because I am a sucker for anything and everything that is a coroutine. I don't know why. Don't ask. I don't know why. I just love coroutines. Alright, so coroutine of what? Well, we need to probably play a sound. And actually, that's what I was playing with earlier, was you guys might have heard some crazy sounds during the intro, because I kind of forgot that even though my music was playing, that you guys can hear noises over everything else. So, like, there probably was music and then, like, beep boops and button noises and, yeah, whoops. I was using this thing, and I'll turn on the sound so you guys can hear it too, but, like... OpenGameArt has some really cool sound effects. At the same time, you really gotta hunt for what you're looking for. Yeah, no. Oops. And then you can download them as well. Obviously, you can do more than just, like... I kind of like those noises. I'm looking for a click. You'd think that'd be easy, right? How is that a camera shutter? That just sounds like an error noise. Ah! Nice, simple, click. Let's take it. At least for now. Just so I have a sound in place. It's a wave file. Well, that's fine. I can deal with waves. Game, assets. I don't have a folder for sounds yet. Which is kind of a weird thought. I've been working on a game this long and I don't have a sound effect. It's just, I don't know, bizarre, right? You work on something so long and you're like, I need sound. This game needs to make noises. Granted, there comes a point where making noises, it starts to drive you mad as well, but that's besides the point. Okay. Did it import my sound? I hope so. It's a WAV file. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay, cool. Compress on load, compressed in memory. Interesting. That's actually really crazy. The original size is 59K and its imported size is just under 5K. The things people have been doing to audio in the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years has been pretty crazy. Granted, you know, things like Og Vorbis have come along and made a lot of difference in the industry as well, but still, the amount of audio compression you can do and keep quality is kind of insane. Alright, so what do we need to do here? One, I want to get the sound effect hooked in. So let's get a... This is technically a template of some kind. I'm just going to... I think it counts as an audio clip. And just so you can't click the pick lock button while the game is paused and like fail yourself multiple times, I'm just going to put a quick return in here so that you can't screw with yourself like that. So we pause the game. I thought you could just straight up play it from here. Guys, how do I play a sound in Unity? It's actually been so long. Is it an audio source I need? Was that what it was? I think it was. Not an audio clip, audio source. Watch, somebody has already said that in chat. Fox says, just a thought, make it more crazy. You can make the left side of the bar move as well and give a range it needs. Oh god, that would be mean. Because then the difficulty would be shifting as well as the bar. Oh boy, that would be kind of... Oh, that's mean. Fox, you are a fantastic game developer. Mental, today I finally made a JSON. Oh wait, I made JSON working with Unity. I mixed 2 libraries, spent around 2 hours of thinking why my mono behavior object couldn't be stored. Sorry about that, that sucks. But it sounds like you got it. Oh right, and I meant to get my JSON library put out there. I haven't had a chance to grab it yet. It's still locked up on the network drive, and I need to do some cleanup on it before I even begin to think about passing it out to anybody. If only because I kind of detest passing out ugly, hacked up code. Probably I'm going to do a bit of cleanup on it today, and then if I get some time, I'll see if I can't send it out to the folks who asked for it. So if you guys are in stream right now and you asked for it because I told you to yesterday, I've seen your messages. I just need to do a little more cleanup and then I'll send it out. Whoops. Alright, yep, an audio source. Lemony Fresh Punk totally has got me covered here. Lockpick attempt. I'll call it the pick attempt sound. Come on, I want to close the grid and get my lockpicking window. And here is... Hello. I have no audio sources. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. Why does this not count as an audio source? That seems incredibly bizarre. Yeah, an audio source is attached. Oh, is attached to a game object. I bet it's its own component, isn't it? Okay, add component. Yes? No. Where is it hiding? Audio. Duh. Sometimes, guys. Sometimes I don't know. Okay, mute, bypass effects. Click play on awake, don't play on awake. Don't loop it. Decent priority, good volume. Oh god, no, don't care about any of that. There's our audio source. There it goes. Now I just tell it to play. Yeah, seriously. I'm getting the audio source. I have a feeling you're a fan of the car, maybe? Okay, well, the game pauses, which is great. I don't think I heard the sound, though. Probably because I didn't play it. Yay. Play at a delay. Your Nightmare asks, is there any reason why I use bool equals false instead of not bool? Sometimes it's readability, really. It's sometimes more difficult to read what this is. And if I'm skimming code, I might read that as if run game, not if not run game. So for me, the difference is mostly just readability. There's no performance difference. The compiler treats the two exactly the same. Really, the big thing for me is just it makes it more readable. Bigger line of code means easier for me to interpret as I scan across this. So you'll note I have the if equals false versus, I actually don't know where I use an if true, but the if true, I just do if and variable name, and that's it. Try it again. Ah! Got sound. Haha. Okay, so, and you'll note this was a successful run. Now, obviously, we've stopped the game without any coroutine to restart it. So we have to run through and get that done. Manic's asking if there's anyone who has experience with procedural world generation. I tend to. I implemented the procedural world generation at work, and I've done it more than a few times in previous streams as well. So I might be able to help with your question. Might. Okay, so we've got our sound. So we say stop running the game, quick play the sound, start coroutine. Actually need a coroutine for it to run. Oh, right. enumerator process pick attempt. And what we're going to do in here is we're going to do a few things. One, we're going to check for success. That's the easiest thing we can do. So if the skill bar dot size is greater than, or I'll be mean and say if it's greater than. If I say greater than and equal to and you nail it, you know what? If you nail it, you probably deserve to get by. So okay, success is equal to the size being greater than or equal to what? The difficulty, right? Where is it? I'm going to turn difficulty value into its own thing, just for a little. Get difficulty value. Welcome to the circus of value. I hope somebody got that BioShock reference, otherwise I probably look like a derf right now. Let's see here. Oh, I know what I have to do. Actually, now that I think about it, crap. Okay. Okay, so whether the size is greater than or equal to what? It has to be equal to, let's see, we know the current difficulty. So actually what we could do is say the min skill value and the max skill value and the skill bar dot size. So this will give us a number, whether that is greater than the difficulty. Blocker dot pick difficulty for the current tumbler index. I know there's a lot going on in that line, but should do the trick. Let's see, Manic. Trying to make a 4x game on a hex grid. Figured out how to generate a grid. Problem is populating the grid. Can't very well just have every hex be a random tile type. Stuff would have to be logically grouped together to make islands, continents, mountain ranges, lakes, etc. Oh, interesting. Audio source.play clip at point. Huh. I've never run into that, Mental. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, Fox is on the money here with how you would group things together. You would use something like a Perlin noise generator. And what essentially Perlin noise does is it gives you a smoothed noise. So if you think of noise as a random value on a 2D grid, it will generate what essentially looks like static, right? Where every pixel is different. What Perlin noise is it is a mathematical noise that graduates between highs and lows, almost like hills and valleys. And the way that the hills and valleys work is that you essentially end up getting noise that is, for lack of better words, your noise ends up being very grouped up. So you say, oh, well, I want the values between minus 0.2 and 0.2. Well, that's going to be a very specific shape inside of the noise. And so what it'll let you do is group bits up by type, if you want. That's how I ended up doing my biomes in my own game. And because it graduates a certain way, you can apply really cool stuff to it. For example, I was using the noise for the temperature of the area. So where the temperature got high, I would have deserts. Where the temperature got really low, I'd have tundra. And then you can do layers of noise if you want to get really, really in depth and have stuff like, okay, here's humidity and temperature, and those two mixed together generate a biome, and the biomes have other cool stuff. Oftentimes people use the noise straight up for height maps, but you can also use it for all kinds of other things. So yeah. If you look up Perlin noise, as Fox said, in Google, you'll get some interesting pictures that might help explain what I'm just talking about. Alright, so we processed the pick attempt. We need to do a few other things. We need to add some messaging, and we also need to... I just realized a problem. So, okay, we need to show the messaging. Oh, I think I know how I can turn this off. Yeah, so show messaging, count the successes, start the next game. So in worst, we need to set run game to true, and we also need to increase the tumbler index. Now, obviously, if the tumbler index is, and I'm going to prefix this, if the tumbler index is greater than the number of tumblers that exist, then we should just stop playing. Dang it, come on. Game object. There we go. So we play the click noise. I'm gonna right now wait for only about 2 seconds. And then move on to the next one. So this, if that's greater than that, destroy, else I run setup on the game again and set it back to true. Now, there we go, there's one, and I wish it would stop doing that. I need to find the settings to not muck with that anymore. There we go. So, clicky noise, wait for 2 seconds. If we've finished the game, then we move on to the next one. Oh, that's the other thing. If success, right? We aren't counting whether success is true or not. So if you are successful, we should do other things, obviously. There we go. If success is false, so we're going to keep running the game. Right now we have no fail state. Eventually we're going to go in and add a fail state so that, there we go. We'll add in a fail state, so if you fail enough times, you'll jam the door or break your lockpicking set. And I want the tools to be somewhat expensive. So if terrible things happen and you don't have multiple lockpick sets, or if you only have one because you could only find or afford one, and you break it, bad things are going to go down. I definitely like that idea. I don't know if I want to stick with it quite yet because I'm still unsure about that. That could lead to some frustrating cases, but so far the mechanics of this game are not exactly forgiving, especially the way I've set up the health system in combat and other things. Right now it's really easy to find characters dead. So, and I kind of like that, honestly. I like difficult games. So hopefully, fix that bug before it gets me. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see how this goes. So I have to successfully hit it before it will move to the next difficulty. So this one's easy. Click. There's our 2-second wait. You'll notice the difficulty moved and the game started over. Whoops, I missed it. Therefore, it's going to keep going. There we go. I got it. Now we want success indicators. That's the only piece of the puzzle that we're really missing right now. And I could have had that just now. Come on. I'm waiting. Ah! Too slow. Too slow. I see it get there and I'm like a moment too late. And now I'm trying to preemptively do it, and that's definitely not working. Ah, got it. And now it should go away. Ta-da! We've unlocked the door. If you successfully pass through the last one, then we should do one last thing. Obviously, we need to unlock the door. Right? The whole reason for this game is to unlock a door. If it doesn't unlock when you're done, something's terribly wrong. Yeah, seriously, Bunkin, it's I make games that are difficult enough that I'm bad at them. Manic, I assume you're still talking about the 2D noise stuff, asking if you can manually influence them, like, for example, force the outer edges of a map to always be ocean. Yes. The easiest thing I've done is that you pick a high point in the noise, and that becomes the center of your map, And then as you go outwards from there, you just apply a modifier so that you get an island that always goes down to water. Currently, that's what we're using at work to ensure that every kid who plays the game gets their own procedural island, and that it's always an island every single time. Because eventually, because you pick that high point and you're applying a 0 to 1 modifier, eventually that slope is going to drop into the water. It may not do it quickly, but it'll still do it. All right. Before we throw everything away, I need more messaging, right? This whole thing, what it's lacking is messaging in multiple places. We're not telling the player anything. And one of the most easy ways to kind of sabotage your own game is to not tell the player information that's really pertinent. So, for example, what we should probably do is when you complete this, what we'll do is we'll say yield return new wait. We'll wait 2 seconds. Actually, we've already waited 2 seconds. I'm gonna mess with order of operations here. We know there's a canvas attached to this thing. So if I turn off the canvas and then I go to the party, and we say unlocked, at which point we wait for a few seconds. And then we clear the text. Is there any other? For now, that's kind of the only messaging I want. Okay. Whoop. Also, you'll notice successes aren't causing a wait at all. Quick else statement here. I don't want a long wait here, just like a 1 second wait maybe, just so that the player knows that they screwed up or that they made it. Actually, I'm just going to put that out there and not require anything further. That should do it. Little 1 second wait, just enough to... Oops. Just to keep the player from spamming and getting it every time. Hey, unlocked. And now it goes away, and that's the end of it. Pretty simple. And now if I walk up to the door and don't get in a fight on the way, I can walk inside. I still need to put walls on the inside of this, obviously. But, you know, I'm not far off. Cool. So let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, I want markers for win-loss situations. That's going to be a little more difficult. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to cheat for now. We're just going to put text in place. And then I'll get some better art. We'll come back. We'll polish this up later. For now, since we're doing purely just get it all working, make a game kind of setup, Tumblr text. And that should not be up that high. There we go. That looks about right. The text is definitely the wrong color, and the wrong size, and the wrong font. And actually, what I'm going to do We're going to do this in a somewhat label-ish format. So we have the Tumblr text, and this is actually a Tumblr label. I'm using Microsoft terms here for some of my text, so don't worry about it a ton. Essentially, they break down non-changing text to labels, and text is actually the thing that you can manipulate and set. And this is going to look more like this at its worst, right? There should never really be a double digits worth of these things, but you never know. So our lockpicking window needs one more thing. Each time we call setup the game, we're going to find child, and it's going to be the Tumblr text. Fox is asking, will this game be procedural as well? No. I am... as much fun as procedural is, the amount of time it takes to tweak procedural to play right is not something I want to mess with in this game. I'd like to be able to just set content down and be done with it. Pretty much every game up to this point in my career has been procedural because I'm just an addict when it comes to procedural games. This is not going to be the case, if only because while it takes more time, it's easier for me to make a complete game that I know is going to play well if I'm doing this non-procedurally. And then we are going to do the Tumblr count as well. So this is going to be the blocker.pick difficulty.length. Technically, this isn't necessary, and neither is this. So now when I start, yep, at 1 out of 3. Come on. Nope. Really? Okay, I'm lowering that. It's taunting me now. Because you only have about a quarter second, so your reflex has got to be pretty quick to get the high ones like this. Now, obviously, the way you fix this is you make your character better at lockpicking. There we go. Thank goodness. SD Message is asking, is this my full-time job or do I have another job next to doing this? I work as a full-time game dev at a educational games company called Signition. Currently, that is a full-time job for me. We do use Unity, but at the same time, I'm doing server work right now, so I'm not exactly doing this kind of stuff at work. If I didn't have a full-time job, you'd definitely be see me streaming a lot more. Hey, I can walk inside the house and get inside a fight, and the fight is outside the house. Wait a minute. Alright, lockpicking window complete. So the window itself is done. We just have to figure out how to trigger it now. And with only about 8 to 10 minutes left, I just want to show off stuff and answer questions until this stream is over, because I'm not going to really have enough time to dive into the stuff I want to. I don't feel like I missed anything. Oh, I've got to figure out how to cancel the lockpicking. Obviously, destroying the game object is one way to do this, or is at least one way to start this. The other thing I feel like should happen is when this comes up, party instance input enabled is false. We just want to disable the player movement, and then we need to re-enable it so that the players can't walk around while lockpicking. There we go. Have you seen Bob Ross Game Dev? Yeah, no, everything Bob Ross has been coming up lately, and it's fantastic. I would say you also want to hunt down Bob Ross Esports. That one was pretty good. Also, I've just been watching the Bob Ross stream at work. I don't know why. Like, it's just entrancing. I absolutely love the effort, the way in which he makes painting look completely effortless. It's just mind-boggling how simple he makes it look. And I don't know, it's also kind of inspiring to see somebody with so much skill be able to just lay something out like that and be so chill about it the entire time. Okay. So, oh, just to show some stuff off, I played around with, I got more models working yesterday. Obviously, they aren't all going to be in fantastic shape, but for instance, here's a derp that I tossed into the game, and absolutely, like, he is hilarious. So I got a whole set of demons, if it wasn't obvious. So we've got now a demon imp, kind of a spaz. I can see him being just a grunt that you just beat the snot out of easily. If we bring up his animator, he's got... ooh, I just found a bug in his animator. Oh, and that's why. These should not have exit times. Do you have an exit time? Let's just remove the exit times on all those. There we go. So now he attacks. And he's got a attack 2 and an attack 3. Lemony Fresh, I did not model and animate these. These are picked off of BitGem. They had a they have, I think, current tense, they have a Halloween sale going on where their demons, skeletons, and zombies were like half off or something. And so I was able to grab these at a decent price. Why is take damage not triggering? Oh, because take damage needs to be one of these where I can do and then finally death. And death, for some reason the animator death is not removing it from the scene. Normally it does. Don't know why it isn't. That's fine. But yeah, so I added him, and I also added in, oh, I see the problem. I had an error in my code. Interesting. Okay, I need to poke at these some more later? Question mark? I'm just gonna look at this real quick. Assumes it's attached to an animator of a character eventually. Oh, because I have no character information applied to these guys yet. That's fine. That's fine. That's actually kind of expected at the moment. The other one, which is a little more badass, which is why I kind of loved putting him in here, is having this giant freaking demon. I need to figure out if I like his size, because he is a bit monstrous, but in terms of how he looks in the game, I click off of him and give him a, like, here's a roar once he... Interesting, my exit times here are also mucked up. No exit time. There we go, much better. So now he should be able to swipe immediately, roar immediately. Really? Did that? Oh, that still has an exit time. Funny. There we go. Now he can roar immediately. And swipe. His heart's content. What is going on here? Exit time. So yeah, big old demon boss. Looks pretty good. Alright guys, and with that, I do have to get going. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. It's been fantastic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow if you want to keep tuning in. I do this every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Tuesday through Friday. Mondays are a little iffy, so I'd say join, not just join, but also follow me on Twitter, and I'll let you know when the Monday streams are coming up. I try and announce as many streams as I can. I don't always get to it, especially the regular streams. It's kind of iffy, but I announce what I can. I also put up weird programming things. If you're into funny, crazy puns and programming jokes and stuff, follow me on Twitter. Otherwise, just follow the stream, and you can get emails when I start up, so you'll just always know when I'm online. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, I hope.